views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hola everyone, and welcome to Open, the one and only show bringing the best of the Bronx, New York, and the world straight to you. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche every Friday. Here's what's coming up in today's show. Leading things off, the final Bronx Backyard Sundays is approaching, and well, they're going to raise money for leukemia and lymphoma society and the lymphoma society. They'll then we'll take a look at emBODYment of Jewish Femininity, an exhibition portraying body positive images of women, and after that, we'll find out about the launch of a new web series that explores Rhonda Mitchell M.D. highlighting women of color in the medical field. And next, we'll learn all about the 7th Annual International Puerto Rican Heritage Film Festival taking place from November 8th through November 12th. And later on in the show, Bobby C brings us up to date with the latest headlines in the world of sports. And finally, our Open Artist Spotlight this week features Tatiana Desardouin. I hope I said that right. She is the next dancer featured in the Dance Your Future Artist and Mentor Collaborative Residency. So sit back y prepárate. All this and more is coming your way, because now we are officially open. Hello and welcome to Open, everyone. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche for the next hour. Always inviting you to get social with us online. That's right. Tweet us and follow us on Instagram at BronxNetTV, or like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And of course, don't forget, while you're there, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, FB, Insta Stories, Snapchat, LinkedIn at Rhina Valentin. Okay, so Bronx Backyard Sundays is held every second Sunday of the month from May through November at Mr. Magoo's right here in the Bronx. And well, their goal is to bring together the neighborhood with music, food, and a good time. So November 12th will be the final Backyard Sunday of this year, and they're going to be raising money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And joining us now to tell us more, we welcome the co-founder of Bronx Backyard Sundays, Keith McDermott.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Thank you for being here. And thank you for your service. So let's talk a little bit about the Bronx Backyard series in general, and what I guess created, because I noticed that you have like select locations in which this series is conducted.
That's right. We meet at Mr. Magoo's Pub. It's a bar on 231st and Broadway, and it has a backyard area that we use, and we have music. So it's outdoors, it's open, and as you said, it's once a month from May through November, and November is of course our annual end of the year charity benefit project, but it's meant to bring everybody together. It started as a means for all the very talented musicians we have in the neighborhood to come together and have a place to play their music for the people that live in the neighborhood.
So it's kind of like a jam session with an appreciation for the outdoors, which is why you're wrapping it up in November.
That's right.
I don't think anybody's going to be chilling out there with coats on, right?
That's right.
Yeah, right. I get it. So let's talk a little bit about the fundraising efforts and why this cause.
This cause, LLS, Leukemia Lymphoma Society, we decided to choose this charity because it's affected people close to us, friends and family. I'm sorry, what was the question again?
Well, it's okay. Is it something that affected you personally?
No, but it was a close friend of mine.
A
his
close
mother.
friend of mine. Yeah, that's where you lost your trail of thought, right?
Yes,
So you
that's
want
right.
to talk about it? We can.
Well, I mean, that is it's personal, but this is to help other people who are in need.
Right, but that's what inspired it.
Right.
So I just thought maybe, was there like a moment that you went through? I mean, you just lost your trail of thought, so I know it was something that impacted you.
Well, yes. I mean, it was a close friend of mine who lost his mother, so that was very, very moving for us. So we, he does a lot of charity work with LLS himself, and we wanted to help as well. So the event itself, it's $5 to get in the door, and all that money collected goes to LLS. But we're also doing raffles from a couple of local businesses that have donated gift certificates to bars and restaurants.
So the fundraising that's going on, is it going to research that?
LLS, yeah, they do.
Right. So what do you know about
research.
LLS? What do you know about LLS? Like in your experience of what you?
Well, it's an organization that collects funds, and they put money into research, into education, and to awareness as well.
Right. And so, do you think there will ever be a cure for it?
Yeah, absolutely. I hope so. I mean, there's a ton of bright people in this world, and given the resources, that would hopefully be able to find a cure.
No, it's lovely. I'm sorry, I keep harping over there. You're like, no, I don't want to talk about it.
I'm more on the music end of things.
I know. He's like, no, just let me be the musician, which is also another form of healing. And so it's wonderful that you put a gathering together. So what can we expect on November 12th?
There's a ton of music, a ton of different variety.
Who's going to be performing?
We have Ryan Banga, Phil Lynch, Rob McMahon. They're all singer-songwriters. We have On Dope, the Los Hot Quesos. They're more of a punk variety. Fort Indy is funkier. So we have a nice variety of music.
And it's still going to be warm enough to be outdoors, and even still, you move and you warm up your body anyway.
Yeah, you get dancing.
Right. So
and
what are the hours?
Good.
What are the hours?
It's going to start at 2 in the afternoon, and it's going to go about till 7. But if the music goes later than that, then the party will go on.
It's that kind of party.
That's right.
So you said you were going to have raffles, and are you having silent auctions?
No, we collect money on the door. It's $5, but of course, if people want to donate more, they can. And if they can't make the event and they want to donate, they can go to lls.org and donate there as well. And then we'll collect money for the raffle. I think it's 6 different businesses that have donated their gift certificates.
Nice, very nice. Nice little gift certificate just in time for the holidays.
That's right.
Right, slip it in the envelopes. And you just pay for a raffle. What are the raffles going for?
It's $1 a ticket.
$1 a ticket, look at that. And it's all about gathering together to help a cause. So
that's right.
Awesome. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
being
so
here
much.
with us. You guys, once again, the final Backyard Sunday of the year is taking place on Sunday, November 12th at 2 p.m. at Mr. Magoo's, located on 5602 Broadway in the Bronx. And for more information, you can visit bronxbackyardsundays.com. Okay, we're taking a quick break, but coming up, we'll learn about the latest exhibit at Gallery 18 at the Riverdale Y. So stay tuned.
And I can't change, even if I try. Even if I wanted to, my love, she keeps me warm. 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 She keeps me warm.
We are neighbors and best friends.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
Love is kind. Love is patient.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul.
Hello and welcome back to Open, everyone. We're always inviting you to get social with us. That's right. Tweet us at BronxNet TV, and while you're there, tweet me too at Rhina Valentin. Love to hear from you. So our next guest is a psychotherapist working with women who have eating and body image problems, and she also uses her photographic vision as a photographer with her own photography business as a means of feminist celebration. And for the month of November, her work will be on display at Gallery 18 at the Riverdale Y, an exhibit called The Embodiment of Jewish Femininity. And the exhibit draws inspiration from both sides of her work. So joining us now to share, we welcome photographer Aviva Braun. Hello and
Hi.
welcome.
Thanks for having me.
I love the topic. It's quite the topic online, I will say, via social media. And my question to you is, when we reference the term body positive, what exactly does that mean?
I think there's just so much out there today, social media, on the internet in general, that's not positive. And I think that there are a lot of websites today that are more body positive because we're trying to combat those negative images or negative websites. I think it's important to celebrate women's beauty in a way that focuses on the positives, I guess.
Right, and so the reason I was asking you that particular question is because voluptuous women are the ones primarily using the hashtag body positive. And so what does that say to the women who are not voluptuous?
Good question. I think, right, there's some backlash now for women that are not in that category. They're starting to feel, well, what about us? And, why is this sort of more in the spotlight? I think we're just trying to kind of normalize body and sort of make it more like, a woman who's a size 8 or a size 10 is healthy and beautiful, and try to, I guess, go away from the extremes. There's a whole movement that was started called Healthy at Every Size, where, right, women talking about body positivity, women are on the, right, like more voluptuous, and we're trying to accept that more into mainstream culture.
Okay, so what kind of conversations do you have with the women that come to see you?
Well, I primarily treat eating disorders and women that have issues with their body image, and I think
when you say eating disorders, are we talking bulimia? Are we talking overeating, or is it both sides of the spectrum?
Anorexia, bulimia, binge eating disorder, basically. I work with a lot of bulimics, binge eaters mainly, more on that end. I'm sorry, what was the question again?
Well, no, I was just wondering what kind of conversations you have as a psychotherapist, and if this is something that you're visiting on a regular basis, and what type of, I guess, guidance or I guess remedies that you provide, because it really is all in the mind, and it's a weighing factor.
Right. I practice more from a feminist relational perspective, where I want women to learn how to live within their bodies. That's obviously where this exhibit kind of came about. For me, I think that it's not just all in the mind and in the behavior. I think it goes way back to earliest feeding experiences with mothers, mothers modeling positive body image for their daughters. And so we talk a lot about that in the sessions that I have with my clients, trying to instill these feelings of positivity when it's very hard, also because the culture we live in has, again, very negative images out there a lot of the time of women.
So do you find that it's different for Jewish women? Because I see that you're geared more towards the Jewish culture, religion.
I think that they might struggle with some different issues that maybe the mainstream culture doesn't necessarily tackle, but I think...
Does it have to do with the food?
I think it has to do with more so just, pressure, I guess, to sort of conform to a certain body type, a lot of times to attain a male for marriage, or, I think it might be embedded in the culture from Eastern European roots, where, eating in large quantities is sort of like what's enforced, but then trying to kind of balance both American culture and what, the background that they're coming from.
So what, in your images, what you're capturing is the essence of women now, here in New York.
Yes, primarily actually Riverdale residents.
Riverdale residents.
And they range in age from about, I would say the youngest was in the photo at the time about 1.5, and the oldest woman is about 82.
82. Is that the one that was in the dance studio?
Yes.
I looked at some of your images. And so what is your storytelling? Because I noticed that one of them was a doctor. I mean, not that I think that plays a role in the images themselves, but you captured certain types of women. So I was just curious, like, what your storytelling intention is.
I think, it took on a life of its own, honestly. I had, reached out to certain women that I either was connected to or knew of, and kind of thought that they would be inspiring, and then sort of like we sat, we photographed, and then they wrote their narratives. Every woman wrote their own narrative.
And what I love about what I saw is that you show the nurturing side of each woman in some form or another. You captured that, but you also captured their strength.
Yeah, I wanted it to be very positive. I wanted there to be a message at the end that was positive. A lot of times, obviously all these women have not necessarily struggled with an eating issue. A lot of these women have very positive feelings about their bodies. But a lot of times the message about eating disorders out there can be very much like a war story or negative in the end. You don't feel sort of a sense of hope. And I kind of wanted this to be a very hopeful project.
And so body positive, in closing, just the whole concept, it's really about embracing who you are and just loving who you are and just basically working with yourself the best way that you can without beating yourself up.
Right. And that's what embodiment means, being able to live within your body, when today we're living in a culture that a lot of times will tell you, most of the time will tell you, do not feel comfortable within your own body. You need to change your body consistently. Getting those messages is difficult for women.
Well, I appreciate you, and thank you for sharing it with our viewers. So let's, before we go, let's share the exhibit information, because you're on, the reception is
on Sunday,
right,
from 12 to 2 at the Riverdale Y, and it will be on display for about a month till the end of November.
Nice.
Yeah.
And the reception is from what time?
12 to 2.
12 to 2.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
Thank
Aviva.
you.
Once again, you guys, check out the embodiment of Jewish femininity that is currently on display at Gallery 18 at the Riverdale Y, located on 5625 Arlington Avenue in the Bronx. And the reception is this Sunday. And for more information on Aviva and her work, you can check out vvbphotography.com. Right? Is it VV? Yes, vvbbee photography.com. Okay, we're taking a quick break, but coming up, we'll learn about a new comedy web series, Rhonda Mitchell M.D., so don't go anywhere.
Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? Gary, financial aid forms. Biology homework, G. Picking a college, man. You and us go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Hello and welcome back to Open, everyone. Make sure to stay connected to us by liking us on Facebook at Open Bronx Television. And so Rhonda Mitchell M.D., that's what we're going to talk about right now. It's a new comedic web series about a young medical doctor recently fired from a successful practice. But she then has to return home to help her father in his less glamorous practice in Harlem. And the series shows a woman of color in a medical profession, and well, it hopes to reflect a positive image to inspire the viewers. And joining us now to tell us more about the series is the creator of Rhonda Mitchell M.D., Carolyn Pierre-Outlar. Hello and welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for taking the risk, right? Let's talk a little bit about your background, right? Because this isn't even really your background. I mean, as in filmmaking or film writing.
Right.
Oh, screenwriting.
Screenwriting.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm actually working a medical assistant. I've been a medical assistant since physician assistant, excuse me. I've been a physician assistant since 2006. And I started working in Harlem at that time, and I've always had a love of film. and decided to take a few classes in film production probably around 2011. And actually, it's funny that I'm here because the first class I took in production was at BronxNet.
Well, I kind of figured because I saw your director's Roderick Giles.
Yeah. Oh,
yes,
yeah, you know
yes,
that?
of course.
Okay.
He's a Bronxnet alum,
That's
of
right.
course.
That's right.
Cool.
So went back, and while I was working, took those classes, and actually went back for my MFA in creative writing as well.
Nice.
So I have my MFA. I graduated from Full Sail University last year, and been working on Rhonda since 2012. And finally, we've put it out, and we hope that people enjoy it.
It's just lovely because you have one career path, and then you took another. Like I guess at the time you considered it kind of like a hobby or something, like a passion on the side that you needed to just get out of your system, right? And look, now you've been able to merge the two, and you have this amazing web series, which I watched a few episodes last night, which I think, yeah, of course I did, of course I did, of course I did, which is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about that whole aspect of her ending up in Harlem. Working with her dad's practice and all the colorful characters that are part of it. And I like the way it's shot.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I mean, it's hard to tell stories in increments of 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was really difficult. When I first wrote it, actually it was Roderick who encouraged me when I was taking his film production class. He said, you know, you're an aspiring writer, you should write what you know. And at the time, what I knew was medicine. And I had all these crazy stories, patients, working in surgery, working in Harlem, and I would tell my friends about it, my husband about it. He's like, you need to write this out, write a book or something. This is crazy. And so with that advice from Roderick and with some of my friends and family, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna make this my first project. And that's what I did. And, we have Roderick to thank. He's great. He directed it. We had a great cast and, crew was wonderful.
It looked like it was fun to me.
It was awesome.
The stories are, and I can totally see this going somewhere.
Oh, God.
Yeah, no, I was enjoying watching it just because it's filled with colorful characters from our urban community, but yet it's also a positive image for people of color.
Yeah.
Not just her, not just a doctor in general.
Right, absolutely, and that was my goal in making it, was showing the diversity of Harlem.
But keeping it real at
but
the same
keeping
time.
it real at the same time. Because these are the doctors and nurse practitioners and physician assistants and nurses that I knew, working in Harlem. Now I work in the Bronx. I work at Urban Health Plan. Shout out to Urban Health Plan.
All right, now they got a shout out.
Adolescent clinic. I work in the Bronx. I live in the Bronx. And so I just kind of want to bring some of my style, in the way I practice and talk to my patients. I wanted to put that in Rhonda and show like a little realism to it,
Well, that's what I appreciate, is the authenticity behind the language, right? Because it's like, okay, yeah, she's a doctor. And she'll use her medical phrases or her terms and her diagnosis, at that scale when it's absolutely necessary. But in social dealings or in relating to the patients, she's like, hood.
She's completely capable of morphing.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
And
it's
she
like
grew up in Harlem.
Right, it's up and down.
Joanna Durham, who plays Rhonda, did such a wonderful job. She's awesome. And, the character, as I see it, is, she grew up in Harlem. And so she has friends of all different backgrounds. She has, she's as comfortable talking to the guy on the corner as she is talking to a CEO, because that's the kind of, world she grew up in.
And that's a nymphomaniac friend, right? I watched it. I watched it. Yeah, I watched it. But the idea is that here in New York, just in general, right? I said hood only because you have to play, in order to get people's attention, you have to speak according to the environment.
Right.
But you have to be able to be a chameleon.
Exactly.
While still remaining authentic.
Exactly. You have to learn, and as a practitioner, you have to learn to kind of speak to your patient in a way that they can understand. And that's what Rhonda does, and that's what, I brought to the story. And it's basically, Rhonda's like my alter ego, I guess you could say.
Apparently.
Well,
it sounds like somebody's going to be going for a doctorate. Hey.
Well, maybe not. Netflix.
Well, that too.
I don't know.
She's like, I'll get my doctorate through the screenwriting. Well, you're going to have to do the research.
Right. Exactly.
See?
Exactly. You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
So how many episodes are up on
So there's 6
YouTube?
episodes. We released them on this past Monday, October 30th. There's 6 episodes, and they're short, as you mentioned. I think the longest is a little over 6 minutes, and the shortest is about 3.5 minutes long. And so you could binge on all 6 episodes on a train ride, or it's 30 minutes, a little over 30 minutes, all the episodes combined. And so I wanted to kind of fit everything in, in the generation that, are millennials, which are our driving generation in media now. They want it like this.
Yeah,
so
they do.
We wanted to try to fit a story in that they can appreciate as well. And it's great. It's like I said, we have a diverse cast. The cast is awesome. We've got working like really great actors. We have, Juanda Durham, Malachi Rivers as the physician assistant. We have Ruth Maria Flores, who plays Rhonda's sidekick. We have Mugga, who is a great SAG Award-winning actress who plays Winsome, the office manager. Robert Starks, who plays, Rhonda's dad, John. We have Brooklyn Mike Troy. Come on, everyone loves Brooklyn Mike. Brooklyn Mike is playing Rhonda's ex. We have Vanessa Font, who plays Cynthia Taylor, and a whole bunch of other, awesome actors and actresses on the show. I couldn't be. I'm thrilled. I'm excited.
I'm thrilled for you, honey, and thank you for sharing it.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for sharing it here with our viewers. I'm digging your hoodie right there. Rhonda Mitchell M.D. Loving it. All right. And thank you for being here with us.
you.
And thank you
Thank
for
you for
living
having
out
me.
your passion
Thank you.
and finishing it.
Thank you.
Because that's what it's
Just
about.
do it.
I
Just
know,
do
but
it.
you know.
You got to take the shot.
That's it. Get it out. All right. Once again, you guys, to check out these series, you can actually follow them on YouTube. And the name of the show, once again, is Rhonda Mitchell M.D., the series. So check it out. It's pretty cool. All right, so we're going to take a quick break, but coming up, we're learning about the 7th Annual International Puerto Rican Heritage Film Festival. But first, we want to let you know to please join Latino Sports and BronxNet in cooperation with the South Bronx Community Association, Bronx Lebanon Hospitals, Yolanda's Restaurant, and VIP Record Pool at the A Music Stage at 138th and Ryder Avenue in the Bronx to cheer on participants in this year's New York City Marathon. Okay, so we have to take a quick break, but coming up, there's more Open.
Every Monday night at 9, we talk to the borough's movers and shakers about the latest in Bronx politics, education, healthcare, arts and culture, and literally any and everything that's important to the people of the Bronx. There's a reason why Bronxites have been turning to Bronx Talk for more than 20 years, because Bronx Talk is about you and me, the people of the Bronx. So we'll see you Monday night at 9.
Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
back to Open. For the past 6 years, the International Puerto Rican Heritage Film Festival has created a platform that allows local and international filmmakers to reach out to audiences throughout New York City and beyond. This year is no different as they work with artists to explore issues inherent to the heritage of Puerto Rico. And joining us now, we welcome the producer of the International Puerto Rican Heritage Film Festival, Luis Camacho. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
How are you?
Oh my gosh, we almost,
Sorry.
It's okay,
Yeah.
it's okay. I mean, it happens. We must handle our natural business, right? And so welcome to our studio, and thank you for taking on this task of producing the International Puerto Rican Heritage Film Festival. I believe this is what, your second year?
This is my second year. It's a labor of love. As a Puerto Rican, I'm very proud to be a part of it, and especially this year with what's going on the island and how our community is coming together to, move forward, como levanta, as we were saying.
Right.
And to bring our culture, our heritage, our art to our community, to everyone in the public.
And so I understand that this year there's an exception being made in solidarity with Mexico.
Yeah, so before actually the earthquake and the hurricane, we had already decided that we were going to do certain themes in the upcoming years. This year we were going to be celebrating Mexico and Puerto Rico in cinematography together. And so it just happened that we were doing Mexico this year.
Oh, so as it would be, right?
It was the craziest thing.
So what kind of stories all right, so let's give everybody a little background on what the criteria are, or what the criteria is to be accepted into the categories, because I understand that somebody on staff has to be Puerto Rican or of Puerto Rican descent.
Well, any movie can be accepted to the film festival.
Right.
It does not have to have a person of Puerto Rican descent. But to get an award, the film must have at least one person in that production, that is.
I see.
So any film from any part of the world is accepted. Last year we had a film from Japan, we had another film from Brazil, but to get an award for any of the awards that we give out, one person within the production must be either a cast or crew of Puerto Rican heritage.
That's nice. I mean, it's nice that it's open. However, the name of the film festival is International Puerto Rican Heritage, and it's also I guess, exhibiting these films every November, which is also Puerto Rican Heritage Month.
Yes.
So how many films are accepted, and how did you choose this year's film selection?
Well, I am not in the film accepting
category?
committee
Okay.
because I'm a producer and I stay out of it because I'm also a filmmaker.
Right.
So I stay out of that process.
Right.
My understanding of the process is they just choose the best of the best. This year we were able to choose approximately 27 films, and we're also screening 3 special films this year. One of them is a world premiere that'll be on our opening night, El Broche de Oro Comienzo. It's the follow-up to the original Broche de Oro that took place a couple of years ago with Jacobo Morales, who is the star of it. He's also receiving our Lifetime Achievement Award during the opening night.
So are these films in English with subtitles and vice versa?
Majority of them are all Spanish with English subtitles, or vice versa, English with Spanish subtitles. There's maybe 1 or 2 that might be completely Spanish, and that's because of the artists, the way the artists made their production. It's not like last year when we had a movie that was actually in English and Spanish. They made 2 different complete versions, of which is an ongoing trend.
Impressive.
Yeah, it's an ongoing trend now in not just in the Latin cinema, but in also other nations throughout the world. They're starting to make multiple language film productions because now to make digital movies is so much cheaper than doing it on film.
Wow, that's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work.
That's
yes.
a lot of work, even for the actors.
Yes.
It's like, oh, you have to reprocess it in
Exactly.
English and Spanish.
Yeah, because we're Latino, we're Puerto Rican, so
Right.
We have a certain way of like talking with our hands and our bodies, and then when we switch to English, it's like, oh, okay, it's a little different.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So the festival itself is kind of in different venues throughout the week. Well, how many days is it? It's like 5 days,
It's
right?
about 5 days.
5 days.
Our opening night is in Sinopolis Cinema, which is done on 23rd and 8th. It's diagonal from BBQ. Everybody knows BBQ.
Right.
And that's our opening night. And then we go to Mount Sinai. Mount Sinai actually has a movie theater auditorium that a lot of people don't know about, and it's gorgeous.
Where is it?
It's on 106th Street, and it actually straddles both 5th Avenue and Madison Avenue. The entrance is more on Madison, and it's called the Leo C. Stern Auditorium at Mount Sinai.
Nice.
And that's where we're going to be screening a lot of the short films. We have a lot of short films this year, and we'll be screening them there. And then we're also at NYU Cantor. So NYU has been gracious enough to work with us again for the second year, and we're hoping that'll be a long-term trend with them. And we'll be screening 2 films. One of them, it will be a New York U.S. premiere, Sol de Medianoche. And then the second one is a movie that's been getting a lot of critical acclaim, El Hombre que Cuida. And it's been screened a couple of the places, but it's getting a lot of critical attention for how good this movie is. And,
Nice.
And the producer is of Puerto Rican descent, and she had a big part in writing it. So we're really proud to be bringing all 3 films to special screenings this year.
It's wonderful. I love that you guys are giving our filmmakers a voice and just even our stories a voice. It's so important that we're documented and such. So if people wanted to get tickets, where would they do so? Like, because you can get wristbands and stuff like that, right?
Well,
like for the entire festival?
Right. So they go to iprff.com, and from there they can see the schedule, they can buy tickets. We do have a whole week pass, which is all the films, all the panels, all the workshops, and that's $200. If you want to do just the short panels without the major screenings, that's $150. Then we have day passes that are $50. And then the tickets are $15, $10. But this year we're also working with an organization that helps you get Uber and Lyft discounts.
Oh, nice.
So to get there, you buy your ticket, get a discount code, order your Uber, you get there on time.
There you go.
And if you're coming from out of town, we also have hotel links.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
And that's on the website.
That's on the website.
Awesome. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Luis.
Thank you so
Luis
much.
Camacho, everyone. Once again, the 7th International Puerto Rican Heritage Film Festival is taking place from November 8th through the 12th. And for a list of events, you can visit iprhff.com. All right, stay tuned. Bobby C's Weekly Sports Roundup is coming up next.
We begin our look at sports on the NFL gridiron, where the New York Jets were back in action Thursday night at MetLife Stadium. Their second home game in the past 5 days. The Jets welcome rival Buffalo to East Rutherford, New Jersey. The surging Bills, behind up-and-coming quarterback Tyrod Taylor, came into the game at 5-2, but the Jets, with their season on the line, responded to the primetime matchup clad in special uniforms for the night. Their only primetime game of the season, Gang Green answered the call and dispatched the favored Bills 34-21. They did so behind a bruising defense that sacked Taylor 7 times. Matt Forte ran for 2 touchdowns 4 days after complaining the Jets didn't run the ball enough, and an overwhelming defense demolished the Bills. We go inside the locker room for more.
It was a big statement. I mean, we knew the task we had at hand with the quarterback and the running back. All week we preached on it. It was our goal and it was our objective this week, and, we came out and did it.
We've been motivated week in and week out. We know what we're capable of. This is a darn good offensive line, and when we play the type of football that we're capable of playing, we can be a very good offensive line and be one of the best in the league. And we understand that within our offensive line room. We just got to go out and execute that on a more consistent basis.
I mean, every week to me is a must-win. I don't look at, I don't look at each game like, oh, we can just take this one off. No, every game is a must-win. If you want to go where we're trying to go and where we want to go, every week is a must-win. You have to do the main things like playing fast, playing hard, playing smart. You got to know your alignment. You got to know your assignment. You got to play your technique to the best of your ability. And I feel like what we did tonight was just a first step, headed back in the right direction. Man, we got that bad taste out our mouth for that 3-game losing. But the biggest thing, man, I want to celebrate and have fun with my brothers. We're getting this beautiful win tonight.
The Jets recovered from another difficult-to-swallow loss on Sunday, then their third in a row. With the weather wreaking havoc, Gang Green dropped a 25-20 decision to last season's Super Bowl runner-up in Atlanta. At that point, the Jets had blown double-digit leads in 3 of their last 4 games. Jeremy Curley's muffed pump was the big play of the week. It cost the Jets a 27% win probability. Here's more from the game that I think may have turned the Jets season around.
Left 6 points out there, and obviously the margin was 5. So, like I said, I got to put through the pipes. There's nothing else to say, really. I feel bad for my teammates.
Even last year, I feel like guys were still in the whole year. Now, we know what we got. We know we have a good team. We know our whole record could be flipped. We could have a totally different record right now. But so we just gotta go back to the drawing board. Nobody's down on ourselves. Nobody's head is hung low. We're just out here trying to get better, get a win next week.
It's definitely frustrating. Anytime you lose, it's frustrating because it's things that we're doing that we're beating ourselves. We got to finish the ball game, man.
It's not the, we got a problem. We just got to find out how to fix it. However we got to fix it, it's just got to get fixed. We just got to all stick together at the end of the day. We're not going to get nowhere pointing the finger at this person and beating this person up or whatever it is. We just got to find a solution to this problem.
The Jets may not be loaded with talent, but they have something gritty in that locker room. Head coach Todd Bowles has done some job thus far. If they keep competing, I would hope the Jets get to stick with him around as a coach with some of their young talent and see it through. And to boot, the 38-year-old Josh McCown is proving the naysayers wrong. The veteran quarterback has emerged as a leader of that locker room. He's the right man under center and hopefully can keep the Jets competitive while also helping to bridge the gap to the future. Bryce Petty and Christian Hackenberg should be taking notes. The Jets return on Sunday, November 12th against the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. The 1-6 New York Football Giants will look to rebound off their bye week when they fell 24-7 to the Seattle Seahawks. The G-Men are home Sunday to host the LA Rams at 1 p.m. Time for some quick hitters. On the NBA hardwood, the New York Knicks have found their groove despite a setback on Wednesday night at the Garden. They've played much better of late. A credit to veteran Jarrett Jack at the point guard spot and the incredible emergence of Kristaps Porzingis as the #1 option and star of this team. It just wasn't enough against the Houston Rockets. James Harden had 31 points and 9 assists, and Houston had its three-pointers falling again in a 119-97 victory Wednesday night at the Garden. The Orange and Blue are now 3-4. They had won 3 straight games. The 22-year-old Kristaps is averaging 27.9 points, 7.9 rebounds, and 1.6 blocks in 7 games. Porzingis' brother did say Thursday that there's no guarantee that Kristaps will sign a Knicks extension, citing issues with the organization over the melodrama and his brother's desire to play for a winner to be continued. Brooklyn Nets playmaker D'Angelo Russell may be some scorer, but his defensive metric is ultra poor. It showed up big time at a 122-114 loss to the Phoenix Suns on Tuesday night, where he could not contain Devin Booker. Booker scored 32 points. Mike James added 24, and the Suns rallied in the fourth quarter on their way to the win. The Nets are in L.A. tonight to face Lonzo Ball and the Lakers. Russell's former teammates anticipate a fired-up D'Angelo Russell in his return to Los Angeles after being traded and called out by Magic Johnson. The Knicks will host Indiana Sunday, and Bronx boy Kemba Walker and the Charlotte Hornets on Tuesday. Walker is averaging 24.6 points per game to date. The New York Rangers may also be back on track. They used a 6-4 victory over the red-hot expansion Las Vegas Golden Knights on Tuesday night to get back in the win column. The Broadway Blue Shirts then pulled a 2-1 overtime win out of a hat against Tampa Bay on Thursday night. That's 2 in a row for the Rangers. They are in Florida for the Panthers Saturday. The 9-2 New Jersey Devils are in Edmonton tonight for the Oilers, while the New York Islanders, who fell 4-3 Thursday night to Washington on the road, return to Brooklyn to face Colorado on Sunday. In MLS action, the postseason has not started strong for either the New York Red Bulls or NYCFC. The Red Bulls fell 2-1 to Toronto FC Monday, while NYCFC lost 4-1 to the Columbus Crew on Tuesday night. The second leg of the playoffs for both teams is this weekend, with Toronto and the Red Bulls meeting Sunday, and NYCFC and Columbus also squaring off on Sunday. From the world of motorsport, Lewis Hamilton claimed his 4th world title in Mexico, showing utter domination over Formula One before the schedule was even up on the season. Hamilton and Mercedes continue to break records. In college basketball, the Duke Blue Devils are #1 in the preseason poll. College basketball fans, the season is on the way. Marvin Bagley III has Duke and Coach K eyeing another crown. Rival UNC's chances of a strong start to the 2017-18 campaign may have taken a hit thanks to senior guard Joel Berry. North Carolina head coach Roy Williams said the point guard broke his hand after he lost a video game to teammate Theo Pinson and a team manager. He's likely out for 4 weeks. I feel your pain, bud. I usually break things in my house when I lose at Xbox. My only suggestion is to not break your own hand in doing so. Injuries have been the name of the game in the NFL this season. You can add big stars Andrew Luck and now the awesome rookie Deshaun Watson to the list. The two quarterbacks have suffered season-ending injuries. Luck's shoulder landed him on the IR, while Watson tore his ACL in practice. Sad news on both fronts. The NFL trade deadline also passed this week. New England made an interesting move, sending Jimmy Garoppolo to San Francisco for a second-rounder. The 25-year-old backup quarterback has been pegged as Tom Brady's future replacement, but now it looks like he will get a chance to be a starter in San Fran. The man he replaces there, Brian Hoyer, the former Pats backup, returned to New England once he was cut from the Niners. And on a final sports roundup note, the Houston Astros bested the LA Dodgers in Game 7 of the World Series 5-1 on Halloween night. In the process, Houston wins its first World Series title and has given a city that's had a tough year a big boost. George Springer, who hit 5 homers in the series, including a big blast in Game 7, was named the Willie Mays World Series MVP. As a nice touch, Houston star shortstop Carlos Correa, all of 23 years young, proposed to his girlfriend on live TV right after the clinching out. Ironically, Sports Illustrated called the Astros back in 2014. They put Springer and the Stros on the cover, saying that the rich farm system would result in a World Series title in 2017. The magazine is now a collector's item, fetching a pretty penny on eBay. Those are the headlines. We hit the C-list for a note on pizza. If you just found out there's an official pizza of the NFL, then you're too late. Papa John's, which held that unique title, lost too much money as a result of player protests during the national anthem. They say, as a result, the founder sacked the NFL's poor leadership, quote unquote, and said the NFL has hurt us. He took his popular pizzas and his saucy attitude and went home, pulling his ads associated with the NFL for now. While Papa John is blaming NFL player protests for a dip in pizza sales, Pizza Hut says otherwise. Such are the extensive ripple effects that an NFL season full of political controversy is having on all sorts of adjacent businesses. On Wednesday, Papa John's International reported a disappointing third-quarter earning. Pizza Hut has no changes to their sales. No matter whether you stand or kneel for the national anthem, Pizza Arena should not divide us as a country. So enjoy Papa John's, Pizza Hut, Domino's, whatever you really like this weekend. That's your sports. I'm Bobby C.
Hello and welcome back to Open, everyone. It's now time for this week's Open Artist Spotlight.
Spotlight is made possible in part with public funds from the Bronx Council on the Arts through the New York State Council on the Arts Decentralization Program.
Today's spotlight shines on a dancer who began her career in Geneva, Switzerland, where she started the first hip-hop dance company in Geneva. And after moving to New York City, that is, in 2016, she began teaching hip-hop and a dance style, developing a method that preserves a rhythmic flow of the body with music. And Well, she's the second dancer currently finishing her Dance Your Future Artist and Mentor Collaborative Residency, a partnership with Tatiana and BAD. And we welcome open artist stage performer Tatiana Desardouin. I hope I did that right, along with Milo and Lorian Ogay. Eh? Oh my God. And I was so determined to get it right, huh? Desardouin. Desardouin. Next time we have to write it phonetically. Desardouin. Yes, it's beautiful too. I'm so sorry. I Americanized it.
Hey, I'm used to it.
Welcome, ladies. I know yours as well.
Maile.
Maile. Well, welcome. Welcome, and thank you for being here with us on the show, and congratulations on this residency with Tatiana and BAD. Please do share a little bit about your background before you introduce me to the Passion Fruit members. Lovely.
Just a correction for what you said. Like in Switzerland, I didn't do the first dance company. It was the first hip-hop dance company, because there were like many different dance companies, contemporary ballet, already in Geneva, but we started like with a group of friends to do the first hip-hop company in Geneva. And I recently moved a year and a half ago in
I think that's
United
what I
States.
said,
No,
I said the first hip-hop dance.
Hip-hop you did?
Yes,
I thought
first
you said
hip-hop.
I
And
thought
then
you
I
said
said
dance.
you created a dance rhythm flow. Oh, come on. You're going to make me remember.
Don't worry, you got it. You got it
I
right.
said, I'm going to replay that tape. But anyway, it's all good. We're all clear that it's the first hip-hop in Geneva. I think I said that, but we'll see.
It's a teacher.
It's that kind of day today on the show.
It is.
Everybody's dealing with transitional weather, transitional body moods. No, please continue.
It's a teaching program that teaching method that I put in place to help people keeping the groove while they're dancing in whatever technique that they use. Because I feel like the groove in our dance styles, especially hip hop, house, or in our communities, is very essential. The groove is very like the basic stuff, the basic technique that people need to keep. And
how do you define groove?
So that's the thing, you will have to come and see the show.
I like that. It's a nice word too. I like the word groove, right?
Yes.
And so you're going to define groove through your body.
Like basically I want people to see the aesthetic of the groove, but also the importance of it, why it's so important in our communities, and what is the groove to them. I'm going to give my point of view, of course. We're going to give our point of views about what it is, but also we want people to share somehow and also to think what is it and why it's so important. Why do we need it in our dance styles? Like, because there's a purpose behind.
Right, and we're gonna get a taste of it here, right, today?
Yes.
A little bit? You give us a little taste?
Yes.
Yes. So really quickly, because we want to get a taste of it, what would you like to share regarding the, well, really briefly though, because you guys didn't get to say anything, and I know you've been working with her, and I know you're part of her dance, Passion Fruit dance company. I love that term as well, Passion Fruit. I can only imagine.
It's the fruit of passion.
Oh,
which is dance for us.
Nice.
Same. I'm glad to be here with you and with them. So I will not show you anything after because I'm injured. I've been injured like since March.
Oh, okay.
But I'm still part in the process, and I'm still gonna do a piece for the show.
Oh, nice.
That's coming up. So yeah.
Well, thank you for your dedication, and thank you for being here with us, ladies. We're gonna show everybody what we're talking about, and then of course we're gonna make sure that they go see the show, which is on November 10th.
8 p.m. at BAD Theater.
At BAD, at the Bronx Academy of Arts and Dance. All right, you guys, don't go anywhere because we have a special performance when we return.
Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes, but with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Yes. Yes. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I know. Well, I thank you once again. You're performing on November 12th, right? 10th. November 10th, Friday, November 10th, right, at the Bronx Academy of Arts and Dance. And you guys, for more on Tatiana and her work, you can visit her Facebook page by going to Tatiana Desardouin. Desardouin, right? I said it right? Okay, I just want to make sure. Desardouin. Oh my goodness. And it's silent. And make sure you check out Passion Fruit. Make sure. Passion Fruit Dance Company on Facebook. All right, and Instagram. Okay, that's our show today, mi gente. Thanks to all our guests for coming through, and to you, our viewers, for tuning in. If you missed any part of the show, you can check out the recablecast tonight, 24 hours a day at BronxNet.tv. I'm Rhina Valentin, and from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide peace, prosperity, y amor. Mwah. And don't forget, keep hope alive. Okay, keep donating to your local donation centers for Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands, and Mexico. emBODYment.